If you lost your job today, Washington didn't notice. If you got foreclosed on today, Washington didn't notice. If you couldn't afford to see a doctor today, Washington didn't notice. And if you're a Wall Street billionaire who made another billion today, Washington made no real attempt to tax that billion fairly.
In New York City, we are a block or so off Wall Street. We have financial buildings all surrounding us here. We're in the financial district, and we're in the 12th day now of an occupation of Liberty Plaza here. Thousands of people over the last 12 days have come to this plaza. Thousands of Americans, thousands of people who have come from all walks of life because they have had it.
Michael, is it your sense that what you have there and what you have going on in the country is basically a cry from the heart? It's not so much specifically about we want to change this clause in this bill or we want to do that, but you just need to bring attention to these massive inequities.
And you know, they're not going to do anything because they're bought and paid for. These politicians, they're bought and paid for by the people who work in these buildings.
The Transit Workers Union Local 100's Executive Committee has decided unanimously they will be supporting the Occupy Wall Street movement. Here come the unions. That is a coalition of the different unions in New York is planning a rally on October 5th to help the Occupy Wall Street movement. Furthermore, the SEIU 32BJ, which represents doormen, security guards, maintenance workers, are planning an October 12th rally to support Occupy Wall Street. Here comes the cavalry.
What I am most concerned about right now here is that journalists are being told to turn off their cameras. That's exactly when you must turn them on, because police abuse happens when it is not being covered.
The people in New York and Washington that are in power have vastly underestimated
My name is Henry, and I'm the other 99%. I lived for years just 3 blocks from this park. I worked in this neighborhood, I shopped at these local stores, I'm a New Yorker, and I'm an American citizen. 14 days ago, on a Saturday afternoon, I heard people cheering in the street. I walked to this park and I found over 1,000 people here. That night I stood with them and I listened to the first General Assembly. I felt proud to be an American. I left thinking I would not hear anything else about this group. Today is day 14 of the peaceful occupation of Zuccotti Park.
Such a wonderful experience to be there. The people are kind. The people are good to each other. They are attempting a form of democracy where there isn't like one leader that's telling them what to do and then they're supposed to follow along.
Right.
But everybody, you know, gets to sort of have their say, and it's interesting to watch. It's great to. I've been down there 3 times now. And I've been really impressed with what I've seen.
Here is formally and finally what Occupy Wall Street says and wants. It is, in essence, their special comment. As we gather together in solidarity to express a feeling of mass injustice, we must not lose sight of what brought us together. We write so that all people who feel wronged by the corporate forces of the world can know that we are your allies. As one people, united, we acknowledge the reality that the future of the human race requires the cooperation of its members, that our system must protect our rights, and upon corruption of that system, it is up to the individuals to protect their own rights and those of their neighbors, that the democratic government derives its just power from the people, but corporations do not seek consent to extract wealth from the people and the earth, and that no true democracy is attainable when the process is determined by economic power. We come to you at a time when corporations, which place profit over people, self-interest over justice, and oppression over equality, run our governments. We have peaceably assembled here, as is our right, to let these facts be known. They have taken our houses through an illegal foreclosure process despite not having the original mortgage. They have taken bailouts from taxpayers with impunity and continue to give executives exorbitant bonuses. They have perpetuated inequality and discrimination in workplaces based on age, the color of one's skin, sex, gender identity, and sexual orientation. They have poisoned the food supply through negligence and undermined the farming system through monopolization. They have profited off the torture, confinement, and cruel treatment of countless animals and actively hide these practices. They have continuously sought to strip employees of the right to negotiate for better pay and safer working conditions. They have held students hostage with tens of thousands of dollars of debt on education, which is itself a human right. They have consistently outsourced labor and used that outsourcing as leverage to cut workers' health care and pay. They have influenced the courts to achieve the same rights as people with none of the culpability or responsibility. They have spent millions of dollars on legal teams that look for ways to get them out of contracts in regards to health insurance. They have sold our privacy as a commodity. They have used the military and police force to prevent freedom of the press. They have deliberately declined to recall faulty products, endangering lives in pursuit of profit. They determine economic policy despite the catastrophic failures their policies have produced and continue to produce. They have donated large sums of money to politicians who are responsible for regulating them. They continue to block alternate forms of energy to keep us dependent on oil. They continue to block generic forms of medicine that could save people's lives or provide relief in order to protect investments that have already turned a substantial profit. They have purposely covered up oil spills, accidents, faulty bookkeeping, and inactive ingredients in pursuit of profit. They purposefully kept people misinformed and fearful through their control of the media. They have accepted private contracts to murder prisoners, even when presented with serious doubts about their guilt. They have perpetuated colonialism at home and abroad. They have participated in the torture and murder of innocent civilians overseas. They continue to create weapons of mass destruction in order to receive government contracts. To the people of the world, we, the New York City General Assembly, occupying Wall Street and Liberty Square, urge you to assert your power, exercise your right to peaceably assemble, occupy public space, create a process to address the problems we face, and generate solutions accessible to everyone. To all communities that take action and form groups in the spirit of direct democracy, we offer support, documentation, and all the resources at our disposal. Join us and make your voices heard. The statement issued from Zuccotti Park by the General Assembly at Occupy Wall Street. Okay.
He says, quote, "Their fight is our fight. They've chosen the right targets. We also want to see a society where folks other than the top 1% have a chance to say how things go." And you know what? That really does sum it up, because this is all of our fights. This isn't just a bunch of young guys who got together and are mad at Wall Street. You think they're the only ones?
If we obtain our freedom by murder and bloodshed, I want no part of it.
And if you stuck in there and you stuck to your guns and your principles, and through literally rain and sleet, etc., you hung in there, at some point people turn around and go, you know what, those guys are right, and we got to go back them up.
they are just going to descend on, whether it's New York, whether it's in D.C., whether it's in Los Angeles, San Francisco. This is just going to build and build. The main reason people are down here is to reclaim their future. Not the past, not even the present, but the future has been stolen. That's just how greedy these people are here on Wall Street. And so I'm honored to be part of this.